This, ladies and gentlemen, is my new car. This is a big project and I've been looking forward to getting my hands on one of these for quite a while. It is a Rover 45 facelifted with the CVT transmission. Now I need a car that's an automatic so that my mum can drive, but basically it's going to be a shared car between the pair of us, you know, me mainly driving it alongside the Focus, and so my mum can have access also. Now this car I've just paid a very low sum for, but it has a major fault of all Rovers. The main fault is the head gasket. Hello everyone. Recently I've been very distracted by Project Ruby, and it's been a nice project so far. It's going extremely well, but in the cusp of all this being October, I completely forgot that it is actually 1 year, almost to this day, since I actually agreed a deal for Project Beatrix over there, and she has been transformed in 1 year. If any of you have actually watched the original video of how bad that car was when I first bought her, you'd think you are utterly potty, even for the price of £400. And I managed to get the seller down. The seller wanted £850 for this thing, and oh my goodness me, he was dreaming. And I really do believe with Project Beatrix I saved a car. She has worked amazingly. Anyway, let's have a little bit of a glance, because I have not covered this car in a little while. Some of you may be aware that I have done a couple of episodes recently. Well, they were lost episodes. Unfortunately, I lost quite a few episodes. There are some episodes coming up that I have done before I bought Project Ruby. Mainly because, well, I've had so much content recently, I can't put it out quick enough. So content is a bit funny duddy, but there'll be some videos that will be coming out of Project Beatrix within the next month or so, when this starts to slow down a little bit and we get to a certain point. But all those episodes did happen before I bought Project Ruby, but for continuity reasons, just ignore it. There have been some things that I have done to the car. I will not go into massive detail, but she's driving and starting on the button as always, and she always decides to unlock. And actually today's a good day. It's been a wet day today. It's been a dreadful day, in fact the worst day for rain we've had in a while. The car cover's doing its job with Ruby, as it did on Beatrix. I remember this car was covered up with a car cover for quite a long time, and yeah, the state that car was in, I think I'll put a link to that video at the end if you have not seen the original video I did when I bought the car, and it was the day I bought the car. The condition she was in, it's just a very different car. Automatic locking, guys, just unlock, thank you. But yeah, she continues to start on the button. The bodywork has not deteriorated one little bit from being outside. It was waxed, wet sanded to a T. Obviously some different paint going on here, because obviously this car is a Cat C. Different bonnet, different bumper. Yeah, some scars of the past, but she looks absolutely amazing. The headlights have not faded one little bit. That's amazing. I have noticed that rather recently. She's been to some shows. Stop locking, honestly. She's been to some shows. She went to the Pride of Longbridge, where she ended up leaving with a crack in the windscreen. I've got a feeling somebody dropped something on the windscreen. I must be unbelievably lucky to have had that crack. But it's the only part of the car that I haven't dealt with, but it will be dealt with, and it'll be done before the Pride of Longbridge. I intend to change that in March. But at the moment it was down there, it was kind of there. Now it's sort of up there, as you can see. It's finding its way. I'm hoping that it will just reach the end of the screen and stop, instead of continuing to keep going towards the driver's side. That would be a bit annoying. But otherwise it's just a bit dirty. The brake dust is everywhere, but we've been doing some things in that side, but brake dust is a good thing. As you can see, we've got some misting going on again. I have not completely solved Beatrix's boot leaks. Not at all. In fact, today we've had some pretty bad rain, and if I just take you in here again, we've got water in the usual blimming place down there. It's not bad, and there's no water in the well, so I know it's not bad at all. It's just very irritating. I definitely think doing what I did with the filler cap actually worked, but it only reduced it. There was a seam behind here that I went and did. I put some silicone on it and it stopped water getting in. It just get rather dirty in the gully down here. My God, all that crap. I am going to have to give this a wash. I have not washed this in quite a while, but she's looking ridiculously good underneath because the Dynax is working an absolute treat. I've got to be very careful about this tyre. In fact, I'm going to have to pump that up again. We had a puncture on this tyre that I filmed. I did everything off camera. Puncture repair kit, you know, the sticky strips that you stick in and then you pull. They actually work a treat. I've driven on the motorway with that tyre. I was very happy. It does occasionally lose a bit of air. The tyre might need to be looked at. All these tyres are now 7 to 8 years old. I'm not expecting miracles, but because of the tread and because there's no bulges and severe cracks, they're going to stay on the car for another 12 months, and then we assess it again next October. So really, that's my my general assessment of the back. But apart from that, there's no deterioration at all around there. I'm really happy. I am very, very happy indeed. Everything works, touch wood, including the Petron system. I have come to the conclusion that Petron unit has been out and it's had all the relays changed for more Petron relays. So naturally, it will probably happen again. But when it happens, it took me 10 minutes to get that center console out the one day. So yeah, all good. But everything's all good. There's just no deterioration whatsoever at all. The door cards, unfortunately, have started to go a bit saggy once again, including that side, as you can see. But they were all like this when I bought the car. You just can't sort it out. You need to get it professionally done. It's just one of those things. But actually, in terms of a Rover 45, that's as good as what you can get. In terms of everything else, I will not state what I've been doing, only a few little jobs, but nothing is deteriorated. Everything's looking fantastic. The seats are looking as supple as anything, and it's just amazing. And it just continues to start on the button as I've just turned the light out. And literally, if I just swap my hands over, thank you, right-handed, flip the key, literally just a flip of the key, and that is the result. It is warm. I've just driven it. I'm continue to drive the car, and I'm just going to get in because it's awfully cold out here. There we go, lovely. I have got this. The only thing I have not done to this car at all is I did not fill with aircon gas. I didn't get it regassed, did I? The truth is, by the time all that hot weather was starting to subside, I hadn't done the job, and I thought, what's the point? So I will sort this out in the May time, probably April, May time ish. The clock continues to retain all its digits. If you are losing digits, guys, on one of these, then you just need to actually get an iron to the strip that goes across the circuit board. That's all it is. The strip's coming away. The other thing I love about this car, I have to smack on about it. Anyone who's actually sat in this car, and a few people have, when I put the heater on, it smells like an old Rover. It's just the smell that comes out the heaters. I've not smelt this in many 45s, but I smelt it in a few. Some smell old, some smell quite new. But all the air vents remain intact because I'm very careful. Every switch actually just works. That, come round here. That is the mileage. So I've put a bit of miles on. So about 140, 1,400 miles in 12 months. Well, not even 12 months, since basically January, February-ish, when this car was starting to be driven, but the idle is nice. The temperature, well, it is a cold day today, but it is rather happy as a car, and I love this car. I continue to love this car for what it is. I just think people that regard 45s as, you know, quite a rubbish, staid, old man's pipes and slippers car, you are missing such a lovely driving experience, especially with a K series, whether it be the 1.4, 1.6 or 1.8 K series in a 45. The diesels, yeah, they're okay, but you buy the diesels because the L series has great economy characteristics. You don't buy an L series because you want power. The low torque capabilities of a diesel of that age are very attractive, but nevertheless, it's just a shame that people regard them quite poorly. So, you know, for the people that love them, it's oh, I've got a low warning light, I've got to get fuel. That is still, it's weirdly temperamental, that is. I don't really trust it. But for those people who enjoy Rover 45s, it is somewhat of a fantastic territory, because you just laugh in the face of people spending thousands and thousands of pounds because they don't want the brand derailment of owning a Rover. They want to have that niche upmarket factor of a BMW or a Merc. I'm not going to argue that a 45 of this age is better than the equivalent BMW from the same age. I think BMWs are definitely slightly better drives to drive dynamically, but for the price that they cost today and back in the day, they're not that good. 45s are a peach of a bargain. I'd say the 45 is only slightly behind the equivalent 3 Series BMW. That says a lot of things about a 45. It's just a perfect combination of Honda and Rover. Yes, people go on about the compromise that this car was made between Rover and Honda versus the pure collaboration of the Rover R8, but I think a tried and tested platform like this really did help. And this car shouldn't have existed beyond 2000. Let's face it, the Honda Civic Mark 6 gave in around 2000, so that's when this should have gone. But it kept on going, and for 2005, 4 or 5 car, it still holds its own very nicely with contemporary features such as this. Absolutely amazing. And that's where I am with this car. It remains a daily driver, or not really a daily driver because I don't drive it daily. I drive it sort of semi-daily, and that's what it is. Project Ruby will be driven as and when I feel like it, although it will be a fun factor of a Ford car. And the Focus is cooped up in the garage away from all this nasty weather, and I'm feeling rather good about that. The 45 cannot be that car. If I bought this car before the Focus, this would be the one in the garage, but that's not how this thing called cars has rolled for me. Everything seems to have its place at the moment, but there are a few things coming up. There always are things, but because of the amount of things I did to Beatrix last year, and things that I did thoroughly and properly, because I don't want to be coming back to the same job again. Things like putting silicone on the window runners to make sure the window regulators don't kink up and fail. It's things like that you really just want to do there and then when everything's stripped down. I know it's yet more work on top of more work, but you want the car to work for you, don't you? So I had to do everything I could to make it as reliable as possible, and that so far has paid off. And generally it always pays off if you go a bit deeper than what people would normally do, but that's not for everyone's taste. People don't have the time, money, or working patterns to actually necessitate a more thorough recommission. It's never a restoration, it's a recommission. A restoration job is when you've got paint and metal and vast amounts of dismantling. I've slowly dismantled this car in separate departments, but in a rather controlled way. The same is happening to Project Ruby at this moment in time. But I thank everybody for watching these videos on Project Beatrix. There isn't many because she maintains to be a very reliable car. She's not a very good YouTube car at the moment because she's not failing. So I hope that she continues to not be a very good YouTube car, because that is why I bought a Rover 45. And there are very few cars that I can say that of. I would say a Rover 45 at this very moment is more reliable than a Focus Mark 1, because Ford Focus Mark 1s need a lot of bodywork at the moment just to pass MOTs, and I'm seeing a lot of big failures. Rover 45s do not have the issue that Ford Focus Mark 1s have with rotting bottom arms, because these are made of cast iron. It's just when the bushes tend to go, the bolts can still snap. You have to be very careful about them, but you can change the bushes and get them pressed in and pressed out by a garage and put the cast iron arms back on. They last a long time, and it's only really the footwells where they go. And a lot of Rover 45s that I see, they don't have any of those issues. In fact, I've seen Rover 400 HHRs with very little issues at all, and the build quality on them is superb. I would really be tempted to own one at some point in the future. So in terms of reliability, head gasket issues are not really an issue no more with Rovers, because we know they go, we know that they happen, but when they do happen, it's easy to put them right and do it properly first time round, and that's what I've done with this. So no, I consider them to be more reliable than Focus Mark 1s. That might make this car the most reliable car of this age left on the roads. I can't think of a more reliable car that doesn't suffer from rust issues at this age and severe electrical problems, and quite frankly, things generally falling apart. And there is absolutely no sense in a 45 that you get that feeling, whether it's an early 45 or a late one. If you want a Rover 45, please do not get hypnotized by Project Drive. Oh, it's an early 45, it's pre-Project Drive, it must be a good one. No, because the Rover 400 HHR was a quality car, and the Mark II 45s are quality cars. There's only bits and pieces like this dashboard, but they never go wrong. They very rarely crack. There's very few issues. The Petron system can be changed. I don't see what the big thing is with other YouTubers basically constantly moaning about the Petron system. It's something you need to be aware of, but just take it out and send it off for the relays to be changed, and then it's fine. What's the problem? I don't know. Some people like to moan about things because they prefer to just stick to what they know. But hopefully I've raised awareness of Rover 45 Mark IIs and how good they actually are. And they are a bit of an undiscovered gem. And I'm very pleased that some people have bought Rover 45 Mark IIs on the back of my videos, because you should never be put off them, because they are just a Rover 45, just in a slightly more modern frock. I think that makes them better. Anyway, you take care, guys, from me and Project Ruby. If you want to see more episodes of Project Ruby, they'll be coming along very soon. You take care, guys. See you very soon.